Hi, can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
My name is Klarizsa Padilla. I am a freshman at Middlebury College. I'm very interested in computer science, and I'm from the Chicagoland area.
So this J term you're volunteering at a place in Addison County. Can you please describe where you're volunteering and what made you interested in volunteering in that place?
Yeah, so I'm volunteering at the Parent-Child Centers in Middlebury. And what the Parent-Child Centers do is they help young mothers and families in terms of finding housing, resources, childcare, etc. And then they also provide pregnancy prevention, which has had tremendous effects on the Addison County community. So yeah, it's a great work site to be in. I was interested in volunteering there because I like kids, first of all, and also there was in the city that I grew up in, there was a high number of teenage pregnancy, and teenage pregnancy wasn't addressed as a problem. It was addressed as something that they would just like that was kind of just expected, and so there weren't very many resources, and so I think the work that the Parent-Child Centers do is just really incredible.
From the few times you've been there this past J term, can you talk about a few of the specific experiences that you've had there?
Mm-hmm. So the first person that I met, her name was Becky, and she went, the first time she was introduced to Parent-Child Centers, she was actually a pregnant mother herself at 16, and so she was seeking some help and resources, and so she went to the Parent-Child Centers, and is an incredible product of what the Parent-Child Centers have done. She got her GED, and she went to college, and now she has a daughter who graduated college and has double majored in 2 sciences, and so I mean she's done really well for herself, so that was really inspiring. Also, I've met a lot of young mothers who have been able to tell me a lot about how the Parent-Child Centers have just been their first experience of what it is like to be in a family and have people care for you. And I think that has made a world of difference in how they're raising their children and what they feel they can accomplish.
What exactly are you doing in there?
In the Parent-Child Centers, I'm working with kids, and so when they wake up from their naps, I'm just playing with them after they have all this energy, ready to go and explore. So we can play kitchen or dress up, and it's a lot of fun.
Do you feel like working there has helped you shape your view of poverty in Addison County?
I have identified that a lot of the women who are participants in the Parent-Child Centers had a lot of trouble in school and feeling like they belonged somewhere. And a couple of them yesterday actually told me that women who have been participants in Parent-Child Centers have often felt like their teachers have discouraged them from continuing on in education. And I think as someone who was brought up on the American dream that education is really a ticket out of poverty and struggle, I really do believe that if you are able to open those doors and provide opportunities and support within schools, I think that can make a world of difference.
What do you think are some ways poverty can be worked with or changed or made better?
My experience is pretty different from that of Addison County or Vermont in general. I grew up in a very urban city, and so we had a lot of schools, and it was and a lot of children in these schools, and oftentimes there was a lack of support because there were so many kids in these schools. So children would be identified early on, and in some schools they would be put on tracks, and if you weren't put on the highest academic track or you were put on a low performing track, there wasn't necessarily a lot of mobility in that. And from what I've seen is with the lower tracks of students who oftentimes were very bright in themselves, they, just because so early on they were told that this was kind of their level, and they started adopting that as what they could accomplish in school and what their role in society, I guess, as they got older would be. So I think in terms of addressing poverty, in urban education, I think it's very important, and even in states where it's more rural, I think it's very important to have that support system within the school, especially if they don't have it at home, and really providing resources. I personally would like to see like equal funding in schools. I think the disparities between like the highest income quartiles and the lowest income quartiles in terms of education quality is just too high. And I think we fail a lot of children in that.